Good day, great love, and luminous light illuminators and way showers. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Wendy, and I'm once again in the workshop in my creative space. And I thought I would do a little bit of drawing this morning. Just actually wasn't planning on it, just sat down. And here we are joining together once again in the vibration of creation, because joy is the vibration of creation. And as always is the case, when I'm sitting here beginning to create and allowing my mind to just relax and be open, information starts flooding in, information from my guides, reminding us of the magic that we are. And the messages that I was receiving today is all about, it's been too long since you have expressed yourself completely. It is time to express yourself completely. To all of us, the message to the collective is, it is time to vibrate in the joy of what it is that you wish to create, with no insistence. And again, as I sit down, no insistence on what's going to come through or how or what colors want to show themselves next. And that's exactly what I was hearing. Tell everyone, it's time. It's been too long. And that could mean maybe too long since childhood. Maybe it could be too long as in generations. Maybe it's been collectively too long that all of us have forgotten our true magic. And as I'm sitting here creating and looking around, feeling the energies of the true magic that creation brings us, and celebrating, of course, the numbers, and then those guides come through as far as sharing the idea of numbers. So today, as I share this now moment, it is 4/11/2025, or wherever you are in the world. It is the 11th of April, 2025. I've really been immersed in this green heart chakra energy, as everything here in the Northern Hemisphere everything's just growing green. As you can see out the window, the trees are filling in. Got some projects going on down there. But look at all this green energy. Just immerse yourself in what is it your heart is telling you. On this auspicious day of 11s, I see them as 11s. And I was just celebrating my very first clematis bloom today in this beautiful shades of purple. So I grabbed the purple pen and wanted to just share, draw some light codes for all of us, some symbols, and with the intention of allowing all of us as a collective that our creativity flows in more vibrant and full directions, that it is time to stop fearing who we are, expressing who we are. It's time to begin expressing that in a more colorful and more dimensional way. And often I will receive these symbols to assist us all in enhancing that reprogramming of the synapses in our brain, along with the sacred circuitry, to help us access it all sounds so cliche, to help more fully activate the realness of the authenticity of who we actually are, and to bring it forward more fully without fear of what someone else is going to think, or how we judge it. How are we judging a situation or a circumstance? How are we judging our lives in that we're not allowing ourselves to completely express ourselves, whatever that means to you? Excuse me. And I'm also thinking about new projects. There's new building projects going on in my little workshop. There's always, when I say projects too, sometimes it's mending a seam, sometimes it's drawing, sometimes it's stretching, sitting in meditation, painting, thinking about the date and numbers and the sacred circuitry, whatever. And it could be in your daily life, your work life, you're done doing the things that you've been doing because they don't resonate with you anymore, that it's time to move forward without fear. It's been too long. I keep hearing it's been too long since you've been you. And why do we explore light language and consciousness? Because it reminds us. Why do we have to? Why are we reminded that we're light? That we are the language of light. We're reminded of that because it gets us out of the space of that we're not in control. That once we understand the expansion of our own consciousness and living more in joy and seeing the way that the synchronicities manifest themselves more fully. And sometimes those synchronicities can be what we would perceive as negative, because it shows us the more we raise our vibration, the more it shows us the things that the more is going to stand out of the things that are not us. It's been far too long that we're moving in a frequency that's just not us. And that could be anything. It could be, as we know, it could be anything. What we do, how we act, what we eat, where we live, who we're living with, what we think we need in our lives. When we set aside the wanting and then ask for what we need, and then just let it go. And go on to the next thing that brings you the most joy in that next moment. Simishato Gizimashurujama Minte Unkoya Melivas Mara Intaya Sampatiashano Umpaya Pisimate Yashokoya. I'm chuckling because, people will ask me, well, in my day-to-day, life, what is it? What do you do? And I find myself always just saying, like, well, I'm retired. And instead of saying what it is that I do, but then again, defining what it is that I do, I have found to be increasingly not only changing, but how do you label, how do you label these things anymore? What do I do? I read oracle cards, I speak light languages, I channel information, I write light codes, I explore the connection between all things and the idea that it is a unity consciousness, that everything is connected, that everything is quantum, that healing is within us, that our body is in our consciousness. Our consciousness, it contains everything. Everything. How do you put that into words when someone says, what do you do? I don't know that even what spiritual guide. I think we're getting so lost. I'm hearing that we are getting so lost in the labels that how we are not even sure how to define ourselves, because I think we're being shown that that there is no definition for creation other than something new. What is creation? How do you define creation? How do you define the creator of all things, and all the things that have ever been created are all that is? And that is the self, the one self wanting to see itself through all of us. And how does that all relate to what we do in a day, and how does that make us more, when we say powerful and self-empowered? What does self-empowerment really mean? Self-empowerment means you know the answers lie within, and you also know that the answer is going to come in whatever way it comes, whether it's through this video or any other way, and that you are the one creating even this version of me. You create your version of everyone you come in contact with. Everyone. How do we change that version? If it's a version we don't prefer in another person, look in the mirror to ourselves. What is the vibrational version of you in any given moment? And what signposts take us in the direction of recognizing even what we don't prefer in ourselves, in another, that we're creating that version of that person. And reflectively, it's simply the tuning fork that you're tuning into in that moment, the tuning fork being your mind. And as the symbols themselves come through, is there an explanation for each one? That I cannot say that, no, because each one is an expression of its own. And I wanted to I was reminded about the numbers today too, that I wanted to share with you. Oh, wrong pen. And I've got the Magical Spirit deck here in front of me, and I was guided to grab a card, and on the inside of the deck box, it says, oops, I'm trying to do it with one hand here, it says trust yourself. So a reminder to trust your own vibration of joy. And the card that flips over is the Forbidden Forest. Bravery, perseverance, redemption. You are so brave to keep on going the way you do. Number 35. And there it is. You are so brave for keeping on living in your joy. And see, it looks like a mirror, a reflection. And number 3 and 5, and the number 8. Remember that, and I was inspired today too by someone who said the same thing about, I'm showing up every day, even if no one's watching. I'm showing up every day, even though no one's watching. And that doesn't necessarily mean this or YouTube. How are you showing up every day? How would you want to show up every day if no one was watching? What would you do anyway? Because you love it so much. And like this, I never know who's watching or if they're going to watch. What are we doing anyway? Showing up anyway every day I have over 2,000 videos over the last, well, now, gosh, 10 years. So because I feel the need, the wanting, the joy, it's as if it's what I am called to do. Even and that's how I started, right? Even when no one's watching, because when you very first start, no one's watching. And so it doesn't, but the idea is in a much broader scale. What would you do anyway, even if no one was watching? And what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Without the negative belief systems, without the voices saying da 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 about the things why you can't do it, what's the first thing that came to you? And just start there. That doesn't mean that that's the answer, but taking the action toward that step broadens your awareness of your consciousness, and you start to see things you didn't see before, hear things you didn't hear before. You're going to be I keep hearing called to express yourself in ways you have never imagined you would. Maybe it's, again, standing up for yourself in a way that you hadn't before. Maybe it's walking into a whole new direction, just like I've done so many times in these last several years. And really, do we ever really know? Do we really ever know what tomorrow is anyway? No, we don't. But so we're always doing it kind of blind, right? We're always doing it without knowing what's going to happen next and who's watching. Do you, regardless of who you think may be watching, or maybe it's because of who might be watching, and that could be on a much grander scale. I will often stop myself, no kidding, when I am in a less than positive vibration, and I mean if I'm angry or judgmental or any of those thoughts, I stop myself now and ask myself, who's watching? Who's watching? How would I want to behave if I knew who was watching? And that doesn't mean like, oh, I'm ashamed of, like, I have to hide what I am because I'm afraid of who's watching. No, it's the opposite of that. It's even those who have transitioned, let's say, or those are our guides. They see us from a completely unconditional, loving, supportive perspective. They're the ones that are watching, and they're the ones cheering you on when you are being your true self. They're the ones cheering you on, sending you those synchronicities, sending you those numbers, those repeating numbers, sending you that song on the radio, sending you that thing you're scrolling by on the internet, sending it to you. They're sending it to you. That's what consciousness opens up to. That's what understanding what expressing your joy is all about, your magical spirit. 4, 11, 20, 25. And in my mind, I see the 4 as 4 ones, and then I see the 11, and then we have the 9 for 2025. So then I see the 9 and the 11. Once again, 11. 9 plus 1 plus 1 is 11. So I'm seeing a lot of 11 energy in this set of sequence of numbers. So in my mind, of course, now we'll see what this adds up to also. So we've got 9 and 11 and 4, 15. So equals out to 15. Once again, manifest 15. And that reduces to 6. So once again, we can tell the story about when we express ourselves, number 6, we manifest the true life we desire. When we manifest the true life that we desire, what does that actually mean? It means being at ease with yourself. It means loving your life. It means it doesn't need to even be, life-altering, storms and changes. It can be a subtle shift that all of a sudden something clicks in you, that all of a sudden you realize, number 5 is extend. We'll see, number 5. Okay. I guess it had to be said. I was looking at the number 5 of humanity, and number 5, express. When you're expressing yourself, it's been too long since humanity has expressed itself fully, knowing its own inner magic. That's what we're learning by exploring our consciousness. So once again, by expressing ourselves and preparing, we've got number 4. So we have the number 4 for April. So April, our 4th month, and this is across the globe. It's the 4th month for all of us. So the energy for the 4th month is preparing ourselves to manifest more fully. And then we come to the number 11, which was one of my favorite, realize. So when we're expressing ourselves, we are preparing to realize how we can more fully manifest simply by being our true selves. And then the number 9, of course, for the entire year is receive. We're receiving more and more energy, information from our guides to help humanity express itself more fully, to know that what you think is what you manifest, what you feel, what you believe is what you manifest. What you believe creates what you feel. The feeling comes after the belief. The manifestation comes after the belief. What are we manifesting? What are we being asked to express in a new way? And the number 9, of course, again, receiving more information from the multidimensional, infinite consciousness of who you are. When we're open, and how the numbers help us simply activate that information inside of us. And how can we use these serious sacred symbols again to literally rewire our brains to where we remember who we truly are in all of its facets and all of its dimensions. And now these words have become gratefully part of our reality, our everyday reality, and recognizing these and the synchronicities as ourselves, our multidimensional infinite selves, and our guides. And I've even been questioning a lot of that lately about what is that, and how does that come, how do our guides come into play with all of that? And so I have questions just like everyone else, yet when I take the time to be in the vibration of creativity, whatever that means. Sometimes being in the vibration of creativity could be just sitting outside with your eyes closed. That is also being creative. That's part of a creative process. You're creating more awareness of creation itself. So there's so many facets to this, and if you've made it this far, I am deeply, divinely grateful. Thank you. And always, it is such a pleasure to read your comments. And if you like the videos, to let me know that you like them. If you resonate, if you vibrate, it's always a joy to hear from you. And I've expanded my oracle readings and messages at on my other YouTube channel, of course. And all of this is free. I've always offered all of this to all of everyone. So if you just by liking and commenting and supporting me and my joy, that is the deepest gratitude. And if you do wish a private reading, I'm also open to all of that, whether it's light language, exploring more of that you are, opening up your own channeling abilities, your ability to connect with more and more of all that you are, through also my own voice, sound healing, the way the information comes through, the way the light languages come through, the way symbols for you come through to help you find your magical mystery persona. I guess that's not really the word I want to say. It's not really persona, but that which you are, and how sharing these has always been a way for me to freely express simply my own awakening experiences. So join me over there too on my other channel, Hourglass Oracle. Yeah, tongue-tied for a second. Hourglass Oracle, and I appreciate all of you joining me on both channels, all of our channels, where we, Dave and I, express ourselves in all of the multidimensional ways that we do, and however any of that resonates with you. It's a part of all that we are, and we are all a part of all that we are. We are all connected. We're all those beautiful crystal grains of sand inside that hourglass, together, flowing back and forth infinitely. And my love for you is infinite. Thank you for being with me in these now moments. Yatokosho simiala vismata kijano kondiara anomoroma akise nadiandara cosa paravishano por umpa candiela soma nashi indiala combaro ma eniniata kotukiala vasparavishanoku plezontu si isha anaya. Whether I'm connecting with my angels, my angel aspect, that which is my angel, whether it's beings that are non-physical, collective beings, collections and collectives, it's all accessible to all of us, all of this, or ET friends, or there's so much that I can't even speak because there are no words for that there's so many things. Again, we come back to the labels, so many things that we can't label that are constantly talking to us, and we're being invited to stop the need to label it all and just let it live within us and inspire us to raise our vibration, to discover the more that we all are. I love this. See, I love this. I could do this all day. Nyaldaka. Yasha, I love you. Call me if you need me.